Hi everyone, it is currently the 12th of February 2015. Meteorologist Robert Spuddy here with you today. What you're looking at right now is actually the latest satellite imagery as of Thursday evening here local time. Just south of Guam, what we have is our low pressure area. It's being designated Invest 95W by the U.S. military, JTWC or the NRL out here, and you can see it right here. Now, at least at this time, this is still tracking off towards the west, and we have seen some slight organization today. That is by relative purposes, because what we are seeing is still some disorganization. The convection not really 100% wrapped around the center of circulation. You can kind of see it spinning right in here, just towards the southeast. Definitely completely exposed. The bulk of the convection on the northern periphery of this storm system. Now, it is tracking off towards the west, and what we are expecting is this to intensify. I do think it could become a tropical depression. Yet no one's really expecting that at this point as far as the official agencies. I do want to point that out. Just my thoughts. I do think we could see a very weak tropical depression out of this if ingredients do fall in place, which they have in the past thus far this season. I mean, we've already seen 2 typhoons. We could have a tropical storm on our hands. That is definitely up for debate, though, at this time. Really, we're still looking at the genesis phase of this. It's still a low-pressure area and slowly starting to get its act together. And you actually can see it here on the map. We do have the tropical depression just north of it. That's actually the remnants of Higos out here, just getting pulled off towards the northeast with a passing trough. And the key thing is, though, this is getting pulled towards the northeast where you see this TD. But our low-pressure area, not so much the case. Actually expecting us to continue to track west. The grasp of the westerlies off here towards the north, just dipping down, and that's what's picking up Higos and pulling it away. But you kind of see our subtropical ridge on the southern periphery of the Westpac High coming down from the north, and here's our low pressure area. So it definitely is too far south to get pulled towards the northeast right now. I think the bigger issue is the fact that this is going to be interacting with the vertical wind shear associated with this, and that could keep it on the weak side all the way up until this low eventually does make it farther off there towards the west. So in short, what does this mean? Well, basically, I do expect this tropical low to become something, maybe a weak tropical depression, and track on a westerly projection. And that's what I'm showing here with this map. I posted this up on the website earlier today. Basically, this is just a track. I'm not showing intensity here. I do think it's going to be a straight runner off there towards the Philippines. Now, with that said, do not expect a typhoon at this point. Definitely not. Reasons for that, just basically right now, it's mid-February. We have to continue to contend with the vertical wind shear from the north. Definitely a lot of dry air inflow coming around this with the northeast monsoon. You can see here the GFS model actually does pull it off here towards the west, and by next Tuesday and the Wednesday has it impacting the eastern portions of Mindanao. And then with the NavGem, we'll just switch it up really quick here, also on a straight runner, becoming a tropical depression, and then just lingering around Palau before basically getting sheared off there towards the east, but it continues to kind of roll it on that westerly track. I'll even scroll ahead here with the Meteor Earth app, and you can see our low pressure area right here, just towards the southeast or southwest of the Marshall Islands, and then scroll it through, and it actually moves right over Palau, just south of Yap, and eventually just gets completely torn apart. And you kind of hear me laughing a little bit because what we still have is all of the moisture here, but as I mentioned earlier on, the drier inflow and the vertical wind shear is really going to act in on this, and if that is the case, I mean, this may be all we have left of this storm system before it's all said and done by mid next week. It's just an elongated area of rainfall. So that's basically what we're looking at right now. So as I mentioned earlier, I do think this is going to stay on a westerly track. The intensity definitely unknown, but a weak tropical depression is very well possible. And then eventually it will bring some rainfall towards the Philippines, especially in southern Visayas, Mindanao. Some rainfall. Guys, nothing that's going to be absurd, but it could cause some flooding later down the road. For now, though, not much to talk about, at least at this time. And I'm definitely, the only reason why I'm making a specific update for this is because the fact that it is mid-February, we don't really have too much else to talk about. Outside of this, what I'm showing you, we have some storms firing up across Japan. Actually, a rain-snow mix along the Sea of Japan coastline out here. Even some winds upwards about 120 kilometers per hour could be seen off there towards Hokkaido. As we go ahead through Friday and Saturday, that's all going to switch over to some snow, wrap around, and definitely by Saturday night, it's going to continue to kick in until that snow finally starts to taper off with a new storm system by next week coming in from the west. finally, wrapping things up, do want to mention Higos. I know I mentioned it earlier on. The storm did break a few records. Actually, it is the farthest east forming typhoon in the month of February, and one of the strongest typhoons according to the U.S. military this early on in the season. So a couple of fun facts there. Winds of 176, gusting to 250 kilometers per hour at its peak intensity. All right, that is definitely all for now, everybody. Thanks again for watching here at westernpacificweather.com. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, as always, definitely go ahead and post them down in the comment box below. And as always, stay safe out there. Thanks again for watching.